When headlines or negative thoughts keep looping around in your mind, you don't have to stay stuck. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I've had several clients reach out to me for help. And I want to share with you how to get control of the pictures in your mind in just 60 seconds or less. 6 simple steps so you can feel calmer, clearer, and back in control. Now, here's the thing. If I was working with you individually, I'd be able to pace you through this process so you can really get everything out of it. On video, the best I can do is give you the instructions. However, it's just 6 simple steps. Let me explain the basic fundamentals of this. Everything that happens in your mind obviously is happening because of your brain, because of neural connections that are taking place in your mind, in your brain. When we see these negative headlines, when we think about everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, I'm not going to name specifics, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you saw a video or two or three that in retrospect you wish you hadn't seen, and they just keep looping in your mind. Maybe you're just having thoughts about the events of the news in the last couple of weeks, and they just keep looping in your mind. Or even just negative thoughts about a client or a situation that you might be in. This technique works the same way. So here's what happens. When you have these pictures playing in your mind, there's a particular set of neurons that are firing in a specific sequence to produce that picture. We hold on to that picture long enough, and the neuropeptides, the actual chemicals that create the feelings of your emotions, start flowing through your body. And typically what happens is you get the feeling, then you stay stuck in the picture, you're ruminating, the picture gets bigger, the feeling gets stronger, picture gets bigger, and you're in this loop of negative thoughts. And you've probably found that don't think about it, don't worry about it, don't let it bother you, doesn't work too well. So the philosophy here is, what if we actually created a new neural network? Okay? So again, if I was working with you individually, I'd pace you through this so you have it. If you want to learn more, just go to georgegillis.com. I'll put the link in at the end, or send me an email. I'll be happy to talk to you a little bit more about this. So step number one, you have this picture in your mind. Chances are real good. It's like you're looking through your own eyes. It's all around you. It's life-size. It's color. It's moving. It's three-dimensional. So step number one is to freeze frame the picture. Just in your mind, lock it so it's still. So there's no movement. Everything just freezes. Okay? We're going to get control of the pictures. You probably never thought about this before. But since it's your mind and your thoughts and your brain, you do have control of this. So you're in the picture, you're seeing it live, probably in living color and in action. Freeze frame it. That's step number one. Stop all motion. Step number two, step out of the picture so that you can see yourself in it. Now, so for some people, it kind of works where you're putting this picture up on a movie screen or up on a television screen. But I want you to step out of it. You can float above it, float behind it, float beside it. It doesn't really matter how, but you want to step out of the picture, dissociate from it so that you can actually see yourself in the picture as if you're looking at a movie screen, as a movie production of this scene. Okay? Instead of looking through your own eyes, you're looking at yourself, looking at this picture because it's now freeze framed. You'll probably notice as soon as you do that, that the picture itself loses its dimensionality, becomes flat, it becomes more two-dimensional like a photograph. You'll likely also notice the emotional charge tends to go down because you've dissociated from it, you've disconnected from it. Okay, so step number one, freeze frame it. Step number two, step out of it. Step number three, here's where it really gets interesting. Change it from full color to black and white. If you're old enough to remember getting up and moving to the TV and turning down the color and turning to the tint, make it a black and white picture. Remove all the color. So now it's frozen, you've stepped out of it, and instead of looking at a full color movie, you're looking at an old black and white movie or an old black and white on the TV screen. So now you have a black and white picture of yourself looking at this scene. So we've frozen it, we've stepped out of it, and we've changed the color. Step number four, shrink it down so it's about the size of an 8x10 photograph. Okay, so imagine it coming off a movie screen or coming off a TV screen. Shrink it down so it's like an 8x10, all right? Black and white photograph. And in your mind's eye, imagine if you were to hold that out in your right hand or your left hand, holding it out at arm's length, which one would I be holding it in? Would I put it in my right hand or put it in my left hand? So you've stepped out of it, you've freeze framed it, you've drain the color out of it. Now you shrank it down to an 8x10 photograph. Imagine holding that picture in either your left hand or your right hand. Step number 5, shrink the picture down even more. If you've ever seen a Polaroid camera, right, the Polaroid pictures, they're like 3x5, 4x4, something like that. Shrink the picture down, still holding it out in your hand. Shrink it down from an 8x10 glossy to like a 4x4, black and white photograph. You'll probably notice when you shrink it down that much, a lot of the detail actually disappears because it's become so small. Okay? So we freeze framed it. You stepped out of it. You drained the color, made it black and white, made an 8x10 photograph. Then we shrank it down, holding it out at arm's length to a Polaroid size picture. Step number 6. Imagine that picture now could float out of your hand and into a box or into a trash can or into some sort of receptacle. And it floats into this box. And now all you can see is just the box. The picture has shrunk down, floated out of your hand. You can do a free throw. You can do whatever you want. It's your imagination. But put it in a box. Put it in some sort of a container now so all that you can see is just the box. And as soon as you do that, check on the emotions. What you'll find is if they haven't disappeared, they've gone down dramatically. Now, before I go any further, if it's something really traumatic, you might have to repeat this process several times, okay? Because it's sort of going to ratchet down the emotions. If it's something traumatic for you and you've been fixated on it for a while, the first time you do it, the emotion might go down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Just keep on repeating the process because what you're doing is you're taking the neurological connections from that first picture, which was highly emotionally charged, and you're creating an entirely new set of neurological connections in your brain, okay, that stepped out of it, shrank it down, made it black and white, put it in a box. Chances are good you've never done that before. So these are brand new neurological connections, and because they're brand new, they cannot have any emotion attached to them. As a matter of fact, if you repeat this often enough, that process will eventually equal neutral thinking. Okay, now, this doesn't particularly solve problems, okay? Like if you're doing this with an instance with a client that's been giving you a hard time in the business context, it's not going to solve the problem with the client. But what it does is it takes you from emotionally charged to more emotionally neutral. And when you're emotionally neutral, you can start to consider alternative responses as opposed to having upset. You can start to think more clearly, you can start to think more calmly. In terms of some of the stuff that's happened in the news recently, which is consider this a PSA, right? Basically, in terms of that, if you've seen some of these videos and maybe you saw it out of curiosity and you said to yourself, I wish I hadn't seen that, but it keeps on playing in your mind and it keeps on getting more intense every time it plays in your mind. This is a really powerful technique to get control of that picture, change it, right? Freeze frame it, step out of it, make it black and white, 8x10, shrink it down, put it in a box. So all you're focusing on is the box. The original set of neurons start to disconnect, you start to light up a second neurological network, or a neural net, that is going to make it more equal. Just keep in mind, it's a lot of times it's not one and done, it's sequential. You got to repeat it until eventually you get to the point where the emotional charge is gone. If you run this pattern often enough, it becomes very, very quick. So things that are bothering you going forward, you now have a pattern, a system that will bring you back to neutral. And you'll find also you can shortcut this system if you've done it enough times where it's just, hey, shrink it down, put it in the box, boom, and it's done. Take the box, blow it up, throw it into the sun, it's done. You can do whatever you want with it at that point. The important thing is instead of looking through your own eyes at the picture, you're now looking at a box or something that's floating out in space. Different neurological network. I hope this helps. If there's anything else I can do to give you more clarity on this, please reach out, georgegillis.com or george@georgegillis.com. I'll put the link in the video and let me know. Let me know if it helps. Thanks.